Before we get to all that party and everything, we're going to introduce all the VIPs in the bottom party in the Paris and the bottom group. So what everybody need to do is focus your attention right there towards the curtains. We're going to start out with the beautiful Paris and the bottom. So have a big round of applause for Susan and Matthew Lee. Everybody put those hands together. A big round of applause for Mom and Dad. Yeah, so one more time, ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for Erica and Dan. Alright, Dan, I need to do this today. I'm going to ask you to take a couple of steps away from your beautiful body, because you got to run us your life, I promise you. But there's always going to be another special man in Erica's life, and that's her father. Everybody having a big round of applause for Matthew Lee. Put those hands together for Dad. Big round of applause. And the children are going to be the ones by James Taylor's called How Sweet It Is.
So welcome back to the palace. We're going to be partying a bit. We're going to get a couple of beautiful acknowledge a couple of honored guests in the room. First, the mother of the bride, Susan Lee. The parents of the groom, Jonathan Klizas, Gail Winberry, and stepdad Carl Herman. Welcome to you all. Now, I'm not necessarily a fan of the Grateful Dead, but I think you all will recognize that it's a very apt description, one of their most famous lyrics for what we've gone through over the past year and a half. What a long, strange trip it's been. Now, we're not going to talk any about that P word or that C word. None of that stuff tonight. We're just going to talk about the fact that we are truly blessed to be here tonight to celebrate this beautiful couple together. Can I get a hand, please? Now, as the father of the bride, it's expected that you're going to talk a little bit about what your daughter has meant to you. There's a million academic and athletic achievements of which your mom and I are so proud and will always be proud. How am I doing this early in the speech? Okay. So I think the thing that really strikes me about Erica is her brilliant sense of humor. And for me, it started when she was just a child, at 1.5. I was home alone with her, and she was in the middle of the living room, and I walked around the corner for just a second. And when I turned back, she wasn't there. She's 1.5. We're in a Cape Cod house. There's not a lot of places to go. She wasn't there. I checked the front bedroom. I checked the back bedroom. I checked the bathroom. I looked under the dining room table. No Erica. I called her name 12 times. No Erica. I'm not sure what possessed me, but I moved the couch, and there she was. Sitting behind the couch, smiling up at me, oblivious to the fact that I was desperate to find her, just smiling, and she's been messing with me ever since. A couple of years ago, on Easter, which happened to be April Fool's Day, I get a text right before we're about to leave for Easter dinner. It's a text that says, "Welcome to the Llama of the Month Club." And it's a picture of a great llama. And they're now going to be charging me $2.99 on my Verizon bill. Now, anybody who knows me knows I'm watching my Verizon bill like a hawk. So I am on the phone instantaneously with Verizon. I never ordered Llama of the Month Club, and you guys have to take that off my bill right away. With that, all of my children, plus Dan, walk into the room, laughing their heads off. Erica had found the Google number to disguise her own phone number and sent me a text saying that I was in the Llama of the Month Club. The people at Verizon are still laughing. Another great story. Erica is in the kitchen during her master's program, and she's studying. And of course, she and I share a love of popcorn. Well, she had just made a nice fresh batch, and I walked up kind of sassily and said, "I'm going to get some of that," and I grabbed a piece of popcorn, and I popped it in my mouth, and I smiled, she smiled back. The reason she smiled back is informed me, after I had eaten it, that it had fallen on the floor and she picked it up with her toes. That's my girl. But seriously, let's start to talk about the couple with whom we're all here to celebrate. To my mind, Dan and Erica did everything right. The first thing is they met and they fell in love. Now they could have gotten married many years ago and it would have been just fine. But they decided to set themselves up for a great life in career and in family. So Dan finished his business degree and he landed himself a job with a Fortune 500 company. And Erica pushed through all of the challenges, all of the time, all of the sort of life bumps that you encounter over a period of time and became Dr. Erica Lee. They put off the brand new cars, the exotic vacations, all of the personal indulgences you love to get when you've graduated, especially with advanced degrees. But they had their eyes on the prize. They wanted to build a life for themselves. And they pushed through until they reached today. So please, everyone, if you would join me in raising a glass to our beloved couple. Dan, we are so happy to have you as a member of our family. Erica, you are Mom's sunshine. You're my baby girl. You're Rachel's bestie, guardian angel, and accomplice in so many Rutgers, vacation, and holiday capers. You're Kevin's friend, and sometimes rival, the big sister he looked up to, and who now looks up to him. We love you. We wish you joy, happiness, prosperity, and the longest life together as the best couple we know.
Yeah, so we're having a big round of applause for Dan. Put those hands together for Matthew. And everybody, welcome here to the premise. My name is John. That is Jared.
Hello, everyone. I'm not nervous at all. First, I actually just wanted to apologize to some of the small family members that we had for the ceremony last year. I promise this will not drag on, and it'll be a lot shorter than that. But if it's not, the restrooms are right over there. So anyway, I've known Dan since I moved to Westfield, New Jersey in middle school. And as some of the guys in this room might remember that we went to school with, I took on the nickname of New Kid. There it is. Something that me and Dan actually had in common was nicknames through high school we weren't exactly thrilled about. So the tandem of New Kid and Nutty was born. I'm so sorry, guys, I had to do that. But after that, we spent probably too much time together. Now that I've had time to really reminisce on it, we really don't need a whole lot to entertain ourselves through high school for those beautiful 4 years. Really just Dan's mom's Subaru. Countless hours kind of rolling through Westfield, not getting into trouble because we were just not like that. Just spending time listening to our favorite poets of the time, Waka Flocka Flame and T.I. We also started our own deck painting business as well. If you want to know how good we were at that, you can stop by Dan's parents' house and look at that deck. Oh, it has. Oh, okay. No, it's not. Oh, yeah. Well, I was gonna say, it turns out just because your mom's an artist doesn't mean you know how to properly paint and seal a deck. Hey, listen, we were a team on that. It was brutal. But one of my favorite memories with Dan during high school, though, was when we took said Subaru through like 3 hours of traffic to Nassau Coliseum for Hot 97's Holiday Bash, where we were fifth row center for Busta Rhymes, Ludacris, and T.I. Just two 18-year-old Nike kids from Westfield. We fit right in. We went to college shortly after that, and I think I might have missed Dan a lot because now that I think about it, I left my school in Connecticut and drove to Rutgers when he was taking classes there, probably for more weekends than I would like to admit. So when he eventually met Erica and started dating her, I wasn't jealous. Today, fast forward, I have a lot of friends who are either married or currently engaged. And I'm close with all of them, but to be honest, none of those couples really have struck a chord with me quite like these two did over the years. When Dan met Erica, it was like night and day before and after, and she came at such a great time because for the two of us, when I came back at what we were doing, it wasn't great. And it wasn't bad. We weren't getting in trouble, like I said, but I just think the two of us was like, all right, so what are we doing tomorrow? Nothing? All right. And then so for Dan, it was like, when I think about how we used to talk about her, when we weren't hanging out, you could tell this kid was just head over heels in love. And very, very quickly, I kind of fell in love for them. It was great. Not to sound selfish, but it was great for me too, because with Dan, I had someone to confide in, my good things, bad things, fears, issues, things like that. I would go to him, and overnight I went from having him and having Erica. And whether she knew it or not, if Dan didn't know how to answer a question or help me, he went to Erica and he told me I'm going to ask her, and I'm not going to tell her you asked. But anyway, Dan just became this kind of dominant force after he started dating Erica. He changed every little thing for the better. And I admire him for that. He found that one thing that kind of gets you up in the morning, that thing that keeps you going, that thing that gives you some true meaning. And it's not a something, it's a someone. It's Erica. And with the two of them, at least for me, you can never not be in a bad mood, or you can never not be in a good mood with them. For example, I'm a bit of a hothead when it comes to playing sports. Some people in this room also know. And we all play softball together, and it could be a good game, a bad game. It could be, good weather, bad weather. It doesn't matter. Erica's there cheering her teammates on, having fun. Even I can't be in a bad mood after my third pop-up of the game to end an inning. When I come to the sidelines and she's like, "Yeah, good try, Tony." I'm like, "Damn, I can't be mad." And with Dan, very recently, we were going to his bachelor party, and we get a call 30 minutes from the Airbnb that, "Hey, flooded, you guys can't stay here." And so an Airbnb was a no. And Dan, through this whole process, keeps a cool head, just reminding all the rest of us that it'll be fine, we'll figure it out. And we did. I would have freaked out, but Dan was cool. And, we had a great time. He was a blast to be around. Even that first night where we spent 4 hours in the Burger King parking lot, and he had to share a hotel bed with me after some very questionable bar food. He had a smile on for 4 days straight, and that's why I say that's the type of energy that you want to have in your life. These are the type of people that you want to have in your life. And I'm very blessed to call Dan my best friend. He's always been like a brother to me. And now Erica will forever be like a sister. So I'm so happy to have you guys in my life. I love you guys so much.
of trapped inside and not being able to leave, you guys will be just fine. So if no one knows me, my name's Gordon Arnold. Dan and I have been friends since middle school, and he's one of my closest friends. Dan's always been a friend that I can rely on in any situation. One day I sent Dan a text, hey, can you help me move this really heavy desk that weighs a ton? And we all know what happens when we get that text. We either ignore it completely, or we begrudgingly respond. Dan responds, hell yeah. I'll be there in 30 minutes early. And that's another thing. Dan always arrives at things way earlier than you ask him to come over. Party's at 5, Dan's there at 4. And the reason why he does that is because he's genuinely excited to see you. After about 2 years in college, Dan transferred out of the University of Arizona and moved in with me at Rutgers University. Now, that was not probably the best idea for our academic careers. One of our favorite games that we used to play was called Wizard Staff, where you would stack on top of your empty beer cans, duct tape them together, and walk around like Gandalf from Lord of the Rings. It's a lot of fun to play. But as everyone knows who is a really good friend, you go through the happiest days and you go through the tough days. While we were closing our time at Rutgers, Dan was going through some tough times and was feeling a little bit lost. And I cared about him a lot and I started to worry. Then one day at a party, Dan comes up to me and says, I met a hot blonde. And she's right here. After that moment, everything changed. Dan had this newfound joy in his life. He was motivated and completely had just new perspective on life. He graduated college, got a fantastic job, and built a beautiful life. Every single day, I've seen Dan wanting to become a better person than he was the day before. So, at the peak of I'm not supposed to say pandemic, but my cabin fever during the pandemic, I look forward to the Fridays, not because I could leave and go out, but because Netflix released its new content. That was what I looked forward to. And there was a show called Shadow and Bone that I watched. And for those people who haven't seen the show, it's about this girl named Alina, and she's surrounded in this land of shadows, and there's these demons and scary monsters in it, and it terrorizes everyone. Alina finds out, though, that she has the power to summon light, and really remove the shadows and all the demons. The problem is, she can only summon a small flicker of light, so she can't really do much with it. But then she finds out, and she meets someone, that when she's near that person, she glows like the sun, and she destroys all the shadows around. And I was watching this and realized, Alina and Dan have a lot in common. Dan always had the power to do great things. He just found the person that allowed him to shine brightest. I'm so glad.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming to this long-awaited day where we finally get to celebrate the love of my two favorite people, Mumford's parents. Some of you got to see me cry through my speech last year, and for some of you, this will be a new experience. Show it. For those of you who don't know me, I'm lucky enough to be able to call myself Erica's sister and her best friend. And sometimes, I think I'm hers too. Having Erica as an and try and take out the trash because she will lock you out in November in the rain. Last year, I decided to hold off on telling the story of how I met Dan until tonight. Late one night, I came back from a soccer practice as a teenager, and there was a strange man in my basement with a large bag. Now I know what you're thinking, I should run. Instead, I was greeted by Dan, who looked at me and said 10 words I'll never forget. I bought too much Taco Bell. Do you want some? My response was a simple, welcome to the family. The love story of Erica and Dan has been something I will cherish having in my life for the rest of my life. While everyone got to see the loving couple that they are, I got to be around to see them through some of the happiest and saddest times of their lives together. Throughout birthdays, graduations, new apartments, new jobs, a doctorate, a global pandemic, losses, and hectic wedding planning, I've seen these two climb mountains. Throughout it all, their love prevailed. The most important part of the love that Erica and Dan have is the fact that it's limitless. Without fail, they pick each other up and they move forward. I am so proud to say that I'm Erica's sister and now I'm Dan's. In our family, we have a lifelong tradition of gathering every year on Christmas Eve, and it was always a favorite holiday. As Erica, Kevin, our brother, and I grew up, I noticed that one day it would no longer be just the three of us celebrating as siblings, but rather we would add to the family as we grew. Throughout the years, meeting different people, growing up, and getting older, it wasn't until Erica met Dan that I could picture someone else joining us by that Christmas tree every year, as Jewish as he is. Thank you both for giving me the opportunity to learn from you